Hey everybody, welcome back to the Baddy Overwatch League. Today I am joined by Live Axolotl,
Hey, how's it going?
and we are seeing the match between our boys YIKES, led by their patriotic leader Josh Danko,
Otherwise known as
against,
Virtual Riot.
as Live Axolotl just learned the legacy of Danko 5 minutes ago, against our boys down at Face Down Shields Up, who had a pretty tough loss last week and are probably looking to make up for it.
Ooh, I don't think they're going to have much trouble with Super T on the ballot, coming in with some massive McCree play in the last couple of matches. I'm excited to see if he can pull out another absolute hard carry.
Yeah, no doubt in my mind, he is going to be the carry of this. If they win it, it's going to be very much on his shoulders.
So far, Yikenwall has won a lot of matches by just fielding Evilite as a Pharah and then using that strat to carry them. It's not going to work out this time versus the aim god that is Super T.
Ooh, interesting combination. They got Super T on the Ashe, K4 on the Pharah. Very excited to see that. Don't think we've seen it very much before.
Going for a very meta comp here with the Orisa Sigma for the face down shields up.
Alrighty.
Actually, both teams mirroring the Sigma Orisa comp.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Alrighty.
1. Attackers
Gates are open, and I'm looking forward to a even better match than what we just got done seeing, because these are two really good teams.
Should be at peak performance levels.
We're gonna start off. We're actually gonna have K4 trying to rain down some damage, but the double barrier doing a really good job of keeping that from happening. Oh, and he's gonna get smoked out of the sky from Accretion, courtesy of Sugary Panic. But there it is, folks. The immortality goes up and is immediately taken out by Super T. But Evilite coming up with the kills onto Mighty Wolf. And so far, it's a pretty scrappy and kind of standstill team fight. But Super T is going to return back and kill Evilite. So now, but as I say that, Scotch is going to take out is going to bring Evilite right back up. And I think it's just going to be a contest. I think it's just going to be a long contest coming from the side of Yikenwald. Yeah, no, it's a pretty scrappy team fight. Nothing really happening right now. This is pretty standard, but everyone's scattered off the high ground on the side of Yikenwald, spread out by K4 himself, and we're just having the whole side of what's their names, face down, shield up, just press and Q. That is going to be an almost team wipe, and K4 coming up with the kills right here.
That was just
first point cap.
That was an excellent boot by Evilite, moving them off of the high ground, followed up with the Bob from Super T, absolutely forcing them to rotate it into a totally unwinnable low ground position. I mean, that's the kind of play I expect from face down, shields up. Really coordinated, very aggressive.
And that is going to be a good pick on Super T, the carry of shields up themselves. But he's going to get immediately rezzed by Scarlet. No surprise there. So the carry is back in the game, probably looking for picks. But so far, this is a pretty anticlimactic team fight. Nothing really happening. You got a pretty back and forth, scrappy fight. Both teams running very meta standard comps. But they're doing a very good job of keeping each other at bay to make sure. But, ooh, Evilite gonna take out the main tank on the side of that. And that's a main support and a main tank down for shields up. So that is gonna be them sent packing, no doubt. I don't even see it. Yep, and that's one of your DPS lost. There is no way I see shields up taking this fight.
I don't understand what face down shields up was trying to achieve there. I saw K4 hiding on the high ground on the slope for quite a while and not really rotating around the double shield and trying to get substantial damage on the Bastion. Seemed like they were a little scared. I think Evilite's big pick on the main tank early on, like you said, really won them the engagement. But if that's the case, I'm not sure why face down's shields up didn't just back out and regroup.
And here we have it again. This long, I think they're both going for the poke to try and capitalize on it. But here we go, folks. Sugary Panic not gonna get the Gravitic Flux he wanted, gonna get immediately taken out by McCree. And Evilite is just raining terror on this team. Takes out K4. And that's just Shields Up sent packing again.
Well, we're looking at Super T with a Bob and K4 with a Barrage. Almost a full stack of ults for the face down Shields Up, and I think that they've demonstrated that they know how to be aggressive, especially with some ult play. I don't think that Yikenwald's defense can hold
and
here.
there it is, Blue Zinga coming out with the Coalescence, no doubt to try and get him to move back, but they are standing tall. K4 is going to get wrecked by Scarlet, and that's going to be an incredible Gravitic Flux coming out of Danko. But despite the incredible Gravitic Flux, all the kills are coming up for Shields Up, courtesy of Super T's Bob. A little bit of an orb kill to finish it off there, and that is going to be face down, Shields Up, moving it towards one fight territory for this point.
That was nowhere near as decisive as I would have expected, but I think the Bob forced the rotation once again on the part of Yikenwald and really lost them the position they needed to contest K4 and and the damage he was putting on them from above.
No contention from the side of Yikenwald. They're just gonna roll right on through, but here we go. They're waiting. They're gonna be waiting right around the corner. This is essentially where you want to be if you're the defending team.
They do have a Matrix and a Bastion, so I'm excited to see if they can make that useful.
Oh yeah,
here.
no doubt it's gonna come out in this next fight here.
But K4 with the Barrage, let's see.
Immortality Field coming out on the side of Yikenwald.
Oh, K4,
but that is
look
an
at
amazing hold.
look at-
K4.
Look at K4 just waiting for the Barrage here.
Ooh,
And
there it is. But he's gonna get taken out swiftly by McCree. But here we go. This amazing work on the side, amazing work from the supports on the side of Shields Up here.
And they're still holding Valk.
The man, the myth, the Super T himself takes out both supports on the side of Yikenwald. And there you have it, folks. This is looking to be one fight territory. It's all or nothing on the side of Yikenwald right now. Danko trying to distract him. But here we got Evilite coming out with the tank form, but he's on fire and nothing is going to be able to... surprisingly able to pick up a kill with how much danger he was in. But they're going to trade, but Evilite in the turret form is just going to start mowing people down, and it is looking to be a fight going in the favor of Yikenwald. But as I say that, they start to lose their DPS line. But they do have the spawn advantage, so it could end up good. Unless...
What a big C9.
What a C9. What a finish. Just sneaking it in there. I didn't even...
Switching sides.
What happened there exactly? Jesus Christ.
I think what happened was the Moira on the side of Shields Up.
Yep, continued to contest. I expected Yiken to come in and defend that in some way, but there was just there was no push.
And basically the Moira pressured the Bastion so he couldn't move. He had to stick in his turret form to try and take care of the Moira, but the whole time nobody's contesting the Moira on the point, so she's just able to push it right through.
Whew, I think that's going to make it awfully hard for Yikenwald here. I really don't believe that they can contest face down Shields Up really at all, given the strength of a high-power DPS on attack like Super T. I don't know how they're going to do this.
Well, we're about to see if Yikenwald can match that attack time. Minute 50 in the time bank.
I don't think there's a chance. I think Super T is going to rain absolute hell on Yikenwald.
Oh yeah, difficult, doable, but very difficult.
Virtual Riot has really been pulling through with some excellent accretion rocks from his Sigma. I'm excited to see if he can continue to put in that huge amount of value. K4 going for the sneaky trap on the payload. Let's see if it gets anybody.
Like it. But both sides running the Bastion. No surprises there. Very powerful in this meta, and that's just going to be the trap taken out. Sorry, K4, not getting anybody today with that one. Though I do know myself that it's satisfying when you do. And here we have first team fight. Pretty standard. Ooh, Super T somehow going to take out his counterpart. And it's looking really good on the for the side of of shields up, and Evilite's just gonna get taken out again by K4. Really looking good on the side of shields up now. They're just contesting this cart from the high ground, and there's nothing that YIKES can really do about it.
And that's pretty much what I expected, was just getting absolutely eaten by Super T. Is pretty much par for the course. I mean, we haven't seen very many teams able to contest him successfully. And when you're in a position of power like this, with 2 shields right behind you and a Junkrat to lay spam for you, you're about as boosted as you could ever be. Oh, but here's the Matrix.
Here we go. The big dick play coming for the defense Matrix. And Evilite is going to annihilate Super T. He's going to get back up, but I feel like they're going to be gunning it for him again. But he is going for the tank form, and he is looking for blood. Aiming for Marvelous Mel. Both the tanks, YIKES in no man's land right now. But they're looking pretty good now that the tank form's gone. But K4 is going to find Evilite with the tire, which could really turn it around in the favor of shields up. Unless Evilite gets rezzed, but he's going to get immediately taken out by Super T again.
Not a chance.
Face down, shields up, doing an amazing job of taking out this Bastion.
Not a chance. This is Shields Up's fight. I mean, as soon as they managed to rotate down from the high ground successfully after that halt, that's where I was a little concerned. They were wasting a little time there, but they very successfully moved back onto point and fought it out. And they found that kill with the tire. And can we just take a moment to really appreciate Sugary Panic's rock onto the Bastion through the Matrix.
Gonna take out the Mighty Wolf, but he's gonna get rezzed immediately. Big Gravitic Flux comes out of Danko, but nothing comes out of it as McCree gets taken out on the Tracer. But now we're gonna have Evilite coming in with the Bastion, hoping to find some kills. Scott's gonna bring up McCree. Evilite finds the kill on Blue Zinga. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Is this the opening that YIKES looking for? Virtual Ride takes out Super Team. McCree takes out the Mighty Wolf. Marvelous Mel takes out Scarlet. And the kills are rolling in on the side of YIKES.
Fight and
Chris getting in on the fun.
That is the most decisive victory I've seen from YIKES so far. Excellent play. They just spread out and isolated every single member of their team, and Evilite just raining down absolute hellish damage with the Bastion. I think crits is really the crux of this solution, though. I think the additional hit scan damage from the Baptiste really helped them in that engagement.
Alright, nobody has Immortality Field. Evilite is down, so this is going to be an interesting fight. He's going to get rezzed right back up. No Immortality Fields on both sides, just the shields. The window basically gone in vain as that payload
we're just waiting
right
for Shields Up to pop ults. I mean, they have a lot of ults on the stack. We have a Gravitic Flux. They just pop Bongo and
Bring
tank.
the pain. Takes out 4 of the 6 members of YIKES, and that is going to be their team sent packing.
And that's without burning Gravitic Flux, tank, or tire, or Matrix even. I mean, face down Shields Up is in an absolutely dominant position right now. Not only do they have the high ground with a long sight line and a double shield in the Bastion, and arguably one of the strongest DPS in the league, but also just almost a full stack of ults here. Even Valk coming in very soon.
Ooh, K4 gonna get the kill on Evilite, but we're probably gonna see a res out of Scotch. Yep, there it is.
Crits with Matrix now. Let's see if they can use that to break the shields at the very least.
Danko going on a crazy flank here with the Sigma. Hits Super T with the rock, but he is in danger as he is gonna get taken out by his counterpart.
And I think that's just about as far. I don't think we're gonna get much farther than the bridge with this payload. Looking at the stack that face down Shields Up has, I just absolutely cannot see YIKES getting it farther than this bridge. I think this is a death knell for their team. Even with a full group, even with some ults coming up, we're too far away from Blossom, which I think is one of the few things that might save them here.
Or trying to counter with the Pharah.
Yeah, and I don't think we'll get Barrage until next fight. We got about 2 fights left on the clock. I don't know, it's gonna be close. If YIKES can win it, it's going to be with a Barrage, and it's going to be at the last second.
Without a doubt, but Super T gonna take out Chris's Immortality Field. And we got K4 now coming in with the tire, not gonna find anybody, but Scotch! Critical hit kill on K4, but Super T answers by taking Danko's Roadhog out. And now you got an Evilite just raining hell down on him. But Super T is going to answer back with rockets of his own in his tank form. But McCree gonna take, oh, direct tank hit right onto Evilite. If you are face down, shields up, you could not have asked for any more from your Bastion
Look
player.
at this C9 that's going on
What
right
a
now.
scrappy fight right now. Marvelous Mel's gonna take out Super T. Scotch going full Battle Mercy, probably gonna take out K4's Mercy. Virtual Ride's gonna take out Scarlet. Perfect opportunity for Yikenwald to win this fight right now. They just have to capitalize and follow through. Immortality field on the side of shields up, not going it.
God.
Immediately taken out, and that is going to be them
What
rolling
a
through the point.
stagger. That was just entirely, face down, shields up, had absolute ult superiority that entire fight and simply staggered into the engagement over and over instead of grouping up. I mean, we were looking at 4 ults on the board with some of the most powerful players and just absolutely allowed Marvelous Mel to walk it all the way to the objective. I don't understand
Evilite
how
trying to rain in rockets. Ooh, almost a good hook comes out of Danko, and that is going to be a pretty good Gravitic Flux, and it's going to be just enough to get Evilite out of the fight, but he is going to be immediately brought back by Scotch. 6v6 again until Super T takes out Evilite again. If you are Evilite, your life is just miserable with Super T around right now.
Yeah, I'm very surprised to see face down, shields up running, or I should say Yikenwald trying to run Evilite as a Pharah into Super T. That's a terrifying setup. I mean, it's hard enough to deal with Super T with a hit scan, let alone or even a dive tank.
K4's gonna get some good surveillance with the Sonic Arrow here, and it's gonna force Yikenwald to play a little more carefully. But they're gonna go in, and I'd say it's gonna be just this team fight left with how long the team fights have been going, or at least how long the build up to them is.
Yikenwald has extreme ult advantage right now.
Without a doubt, and we're probably about to see a Q fight right now. Yep, that's gonna be the bongos coming out of Marvelous Mel. McCree answers with McCree coming in, takes out both. Ooh, back and forth kills. The DPS on the side of Yikenwald out of the fight. It's all down to the tank line and healers to deal damage now. Marvelous Mel's gonna take out Super T. Huge pick if you're Yikenwald. But Scarlet's gonna come out with the Valk. The Moira on the side of shields up, going to get a kill on Danko. You never see that every day. And you've got the Gravitic Flux coming out of Sugary Panic. This is looking to be a really good fight on the side of shields up. Unless Chris can somehow pull out a miracle coalescence, which I really don't see happening. And that is going to be OT bar wasting away slowly once Chris is out of the fight. And there it is, folks.
A much better push than I expected coming from the Yikenwald, though. I really did not expect them to get beyond that bridge when they totally lost advantage in the ult economy. They were facing face down, shields up with a full stack set up on the defensive and managed somehow to rotate around shields up successfully. I just don't understand how that happened. First, it started with face down, shields up, C9ing the point pretty aggressively, and then just refusing to contest it or group up, even with a full stack of ultimates. It's like they weren't looking at what anyone else had. Bizarre way to allow that much of
a good match. If Hanamura, I can't even remember our control map, and I literally just got done playing it.
But I think we can agree there that was pretty dominant by face down, shields up. I don't think Yikenwald really did much to contest them the majority of the map. I feel like it was more face down, shields up play breaking down that allowed Yikenwald to get a meaningful advantage on them.
Oh,
at any point. I don't feel like that was Yikenwald ever outplaying them in any significant way. And I think that's really due to the strength of the three players that I would pull out of that team before anyone else, which would be Sugary Panic, Super T, and K4. I think they were just consistently landing massive plays.
Oh
I think
yeah,
Sugary Panic is the real unsung hero there. There was one moment when I really felt like they could have lost that engagement when they had enemy Bastion facing them through a matrix, putting huge fire down. Both shields were down, and Sugary Panic came in with the rock, hit the Bastion in the face, and I feel like that turned the engagement right away.
Oh yeah. Overall, if Yikenwald wants to have a chance at winning this, I think they just got to crank up the gas. But
it's interesting. I almost feel like Evilite on the Pharah is a good pick because that's where I've seen Evilite provide the most value despite Super T. And I think what they're going to need is Evilite just to be a little more sneaky with those ults or wait for an opening where Super T is down. Because Evilite has pretty consistently shown that those they're running him on Junkrat. So we'll see. I think that's probably not a good sign for Yikenwald. As much as it makes sense, in essentials, I don't think it's going to result in a position of strength against the monster that is face down, shields up at this point.
Don't just stand around.
overall, no matter how the fight goes, I think it's going to be interesting. Scarlet on the Lucio.
I think
McCree on the Reaper. Very appealing.
I think we'll see a complete roll on the first, second, or third fight on the first point, and then I think we'll see a long hold on the second point. I think Yikenwald's shown a pretty good ability to hold so far, but I think this first point is pretty difficult, especially with K4 coming in aggressively. Let's see. Yep.
Ooh, yeah, you got K4 diving in with the Doomfist, looking for a pick, but McCree is going to be the one to take him out before he can do that, and Evilite's going to follow up killing Scarlet. And there's no way, if you are face down, shields up, that you are engaging this fight. Yep, they're just going to chase him down, and McCree having the time of his life right now. And that's going to be back to the drawing board on the side of face down, shields up.
A better hold than I expected. I think
Super T on the Hanzo, probably looking for a pick on this top area right here. Gets the Sonic Arrow in, but I don't know how much it's gonna do. Really questionable coalescence coming out from Chris. Their team already really had the advantage, but hey, I guess if it secures their team the victory.
it didn't. It was just purely a unnecessary. I think we got a shatter and a dragon coming up from face down, shield up, and a nano.
Yeah,
that's gonna. I think we
really
know what happens.
It's just a scratch. You'll be fine.
Ooh, and here you go again. Super T and K4 trying to find that pick for the side of face down, shields up, and so far they've been unsuccessful with finding it. Ooh, but as I say that, Super T gonna snipe Chris, and that is going to be the war horn for face down, shields up. But Evilite gonna answer with a tire and completely turn the fight around, and Scotch gets the kill on the Mighty Wolf. Super T trying to save it with the dragon, but McCree is gonna take out K4. Virtual Riot takes out Super T, and that is gonna be every ult on the side of face down, shields up out. And Chris is apparently not feeling it today and just kind of jumps off the cliff. K4 coming in for that pick, looking for McCree, but McCree is going to be getting out, looking for a pick of his own. Probably the Death Blossom, looking for it, but the team is face down, shields up. Oh, and he's going to take out Scarlet. Huge pick. K4 forced to retreat as Virtual Riot chases him down. Evilite's gonna take out the Mighty Wolf, and now it's just gonna be the kill on Sugary Panic. Can't do anything about that one. K4 going for a desperate pick, but probably not going to find anything. Instead, McCree takes him out, and it's just back to the drawing board. Nothing you can do on the side of face down, shields up, and they need to find a solution to this fast.
I will.
We're gonna have K4 going for this flank again, trying to get the pick, trying to get that vital pick to really start the fight on the side of face down, shields up, going for the support line, but instead finds Evilite, who then Chris is going to, and that is both supportals coming out of the side of the Eichenwald. McCree gets a triple kill with the Death Blossom. That is tipping it in the favor of the Eichenwald, and now they are just following up with all the staggers. McCree on a roll right now. A desperate dragon coming out of Super T, gonna find McCree, but nobody can reach the point, and that is going to be a full hold coming out of the side of Eichenwald.
Score 0-0. Switching sides. Initiating match.
Slavx little muted? Hopefully he's not muted. Yeah, that's super weird. Ah, yes. The BSRK show. Alright, boys. Here's the mad strats. So, Eichenwald really bringing the fucking thunder right now. Just full held face down shields up. And after seeing their performance on Route 66, they can breathe. They are basically probably having breaths of relief right now because they are looking to tie it up. And if you are face down, shields up,
Attackers
as Kenny Loggins would put it, you're in the danger now. You gotta force this thing into a draw. And we saw how that went last match. The draw just doesn't happen on first. But, interesting strategy on the attack here. Evilite going to come up with the Symmetra with McCree on the Reaper, probably looking to make it a really brawly fight on point where the Reaper is going to excel without a doubt. And that's gates open, and we are going to see if they can take it, if Eichenwald can take Hanamura and tie up our series. Yep, there it is, the teleporter. Everyone goes in, and now it's just a point fight. A very, very clutch contest from the side of face down, shield up. But McCree is going to get the pick on Scarlet, and that is going to open it up for the win. But as I say that, Sugary Panic takes out Evilite. K4 getting really low down there, probably about to get picked. McCree takes out Mighty Wolf. McCree just on a spree right now. He is out for blood. Basically waiting for K4 to get out of that ice block so he can just shred him. And that is just going to be an immediate win from the side of Eichenwald. Not the team we saw 5 minutes ago.
Play of the game.
No, certainly not, and I am joining in on the cast. Hello.
30 has joined the server.
Wow, MC Ree, my boy MC Ree, coming in.
What a Chad.
Yeah. Huge Reaper plays out of there. 76% kill participation. Real nice.
Definitely the carry of that map right there. But series is all tied up, and it comes down to our control map, which I still, for some reason, cannot remember.
Nepal.
Oh yeah, I literally just played on it. How do I not remember it? What am I doing?
Yeah, it should be a fun one. So yeah, Eichenwald answering back on Hanamura. Once again, both matches tonight have been really awesome, actually. 1-1 and then going to control to see who takes it all.
Very climactic matches tonight. Almost makes up for the fact that there was only
2 of them, yeah. Yeah.
But it's all coming down to this. Eichenwald or face down, shields up.
So, personal opinion, I think face down, shields up is going to take it. And you might be wondering why I would say that. Even after Super T in the pregame show interview today said that his team is really bad at control maps, I just think stylistically against Eichenwald, any kind of map or game mode where it can just sort of become a brawl, where like K4 and Super T can just sort of go off on DPS. I think that's the advantage there. On something like Hanamura that was like very strategic and it needs to be sort of a coordinated push with their team, they did not do well on that. So I think on Nepal they might be able to thrive in the brawl.
Well, let's see if you're right, because if you're face down, shields up, after last week, you without a doubt this. Doubt. Nope, it's still good. Alright.
Oh, you cut out a little bit.
But yeah, overall, it's looking to be a good matchup. Close match on Dorado, and then just a complete wipe on Hanamura. So we're going to see if Yikenwald can still hold this momentum and bring it into the third map.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if either of these tank lines are willing to break out the Wrecking Ball. Because from what your match, the match we just watched, I mean, we have Wacky Tsubaki, like, literal one ball trick, going ham on Nepal. But, I mean, Live Axolotl also answering back with it, and I think Wrecking Ball is extremely strong on a couple of these maps for sure.
If anyone does whip out the ball, I think it's gonna be Marvel Smell.
Yeah, I would hope that'd be cool. I think she's mainly been on Orisa duty pretty much this whole season, where with Josh Danko Virtual Riot sort of filling in on whatever he needs to, whether that's Sigma or Roadhog.
Instead of Brig Jail, now it's Orisa Jail.
That is so true. Yeah.
The tables have turned, and now the tank line is suffering. No longer do us DPS players have to live in shackles.
That's true. I mean, yeah, playing DPS nowadays is pretty fun because you can pretty much play anything.
Oh yeah. I've been running Genji for half this season, and he's not even meta relevant.
Yeah, I mean, it also helps that I guess some of the support line, there's some parity as well. Like we're seeing more Ana. Hell, at the higher levels, you see Brig played a little bit, surprisingly. I think there are some nice use cases for the new reworked Brig. But it's tough to pull off because your other healer needs to really pump out the heals to make it work.
Yeah, Brig, very niche, but if you can pull it off in that niche situation, you can really do well. But we're going to have huge amounts of damage coming out on the side of Yikenwald. McCree on the Reaper and Evilite on the Junkrat.
The true struggle.
Nice. Yeah, Reaper and Junkrat, really good, obviously, here on Village, which is what we didn't see earlier. It was just 2-0, so we didn't get to see Village, my personal favorite of Nepal, and surprisingly, no Maze.
Yes. It's always good to have, that small bliss of Overwatch without Mei.
Hey, yeah, I guess. But I mean, on maps like this, I think it's fun, especially Mei versus Mei, because then it becomes a game of who's gonna step into the box and get walled off.
It's a game of who gets trapped first. Ooh, McCree gonna get an early pick on Scarlet, but K4 answers by killing Evilite. So we've already got an interesting first team fight ahead of us, but it looks like the side of Yikenwald is trying to get a good rotation onto the point, but face down shields up isn't quite letting them, but they're gonna have to let them now that they just lost half their team. K4 somehow killing himself, and Kriz gonna take out Super T, something you barely see. Something I thought I'd never see.
Yeah, like in Yikenwald, I just like their combo a little bit more here on this map, and I think they won the short-term fight with K4's Pharah. I think there need to be a longer setup time with Super T, maybe not able to get the good position he wanted on McCree.
But here we have it, face down shield up, trying to take a new approach, and it might work with Super T taking out Marvelous Mel, the main tank for Yikenwald. Kriz trying to compensate with that Coalescence, but now they lose McCree. Kriz going to take out Scarlet though. Kriz really showing up today with some of the vital kills, but I don't think it'll be enough. Now that Kriz does it again, takes out K4, basically dismantled the entire Farm Mercy by herself. But Evilite gonna get slapped, taken out by the Mighty Wolf. The Mighty Wolf gonna get pinned by Marvelous Mel, and now it is just a super scrappy fight for the point. It could be anybody's at this point. McCree gonna take out Blue Zinga. But more kills coming out on the side of face down, shield up, and they're gonna turn the point. Marvelous Melt, real questionable charge there. Goes right off the cliff with Virtual Riot.
Yeah, I think you're just trying to get back to the point and maybe juice out a little bit more percentage, but after the first couple picks, after they lost that high ground, YIKES not really knowing where to back up. But like you said, Chris really doing her damnedest to try to pull that one through.
Oh yeah, they could have just gotten one more kill and they could have possibly tipped that. Chris was doing work.
Yeah, a lot of ults online now. Here it is, first one for face down shield up.
Super
Super
Team
with
gonna
the
come
Deadeye.
out with the Deadeye, takes out Marvelous Mel. YIKES though not gonna answer with a Deadeye of their own, sets the Evil Lights down, but McCree is going to take out Super T. Scarlet probably trying to go for the res and is going to get it. So this is looking very good for face down, shields up. And that is just gonna be YIKES sent packing.
Yeah, and they only had to commit Deadeye. That is insane value. But now it's going to be a very ult-heavy fight. He's going to start it off with the entryway barrage.
With a Coalescence to keep everyone alive. Might have been worth it. 2 kills coming out on the side of YIKES. Chris going to kill the Mighty Wolf, and that is going to be all the kills coming up on the side of YIKES. It's going to wipe Super T off the point, and now they just got to get someone to flip it.
Yep, there's the flip. Very competitive first map here on Village of Nepal, and yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of ults committed in these fights before the teams fall over. It seems like these tank lines are just getting melted, and it's only 1 or 2 ults popped. There's still a ton of ults for both of these teams here.
Again. If Super T can get that vital pick that he keeps getting in these team fights, they just might be able to flip the point back around immediately. Ooh, good way to protect Sugary Panic. Sleeps Marvelous Mel as she gets the shatter off. The Mighty Wolf countering with a shatter of his own, going to pin the Lucio, and that is going to be, that's going to be it. That's going to be face down, shields up, taking the point again, but look at this. It's going to be about 98%, 97% at least for YIKES. So they're in one fight territory. They could win one fight and potentially win the entire first round here.
Yep,
Super T getting really aggressive, but manages to make it out alive.
Yeah, face down, shield up. They are really happy about that team fight. They did not, once again, barely used any ultimates. They have 4 online actually.
Super T going to zone out with the Deadeye just to make sure nobody does anything. Buys them time, and now it's OT. That's a Q fight right there, and no matter how many times you press, all Qs were pressed, but when the dust settles, it looks like face down, shields up is going to take our first map, unless a miracle comes out of McCree here.
Yeah, searching for the miracle in a Death Blossom. You never find it. You know, when you play Reaper and you think you have that juicy Death Blossom, almost never is.
You almost never see them, but when you do, they are scream-worthy.
Yeah, and face down, shield up, they're just playing a better ult economy game, and they seem to be pretty decisive on their re-entries into the map where they need to attack and who to take out, and YIKES not really bending as they should. They're usually just breaking after the first ult or 2.
We're gonna see if they can bring it back, because they had a very, very close match on that last round, and they're probably looking to tie up our map here.
Yeah, anyone's game here on Shrine. Ryan Zarya mirrors here, but once again, Reaper, McCree, a pretty popular DPS duo here for YIKES, and Super T and K4 are gonna roll out with Hanzo and Pharah.
This will improve your position.
Face down, shield up, makes it to the point first, but can they hold it? It's gonna be pretty standard, but McCree gonna take out Super T. Huge pick if you're on the side of YIKES. Evilite gonna take out the Moira on the side of. It's such a scrappy fight, so back and forth. It could be anybody's, but McCree gonna take out the Mighty Wolf. A little bit more of an advantage as Scotch reses Marvelous Mel. McCree's gonna take out Sugary Panic now too, and that's gonna be the first. That's gonna be first cap going to the side of YIKES.
Wow, MC Reaper, he
Scarlet,
is so goddamn
let's
sneaky
get
on this
out.
Reaper. He's every fight he's finding the right shadow step in getting behind the key target and just taking them out. Before they can even turn around, he's basically just camping Super T's positioning and waiting till he commits on somebody else and then going for it.
Which is a really smart move. And now you're gonna have K4 raining down rockets on Evilite to try and, or McCree to try and keep him out, and it seems to be working for the time being. Super T gonna pick up Scotch, and that is just a steamroll coming out of the side of face down, shields up. Yep, there it is again, folks. It's every time Super T gets that first pick, that, and it's just amazing communication on the side of face down, shields up, where whenever Super T gets that first pick, they basically are like, all right, that's the Warhorn, let's go in. And it's really good capitalization on the situation.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's very evident that whoever is doing the shot calling for face down shield ups, they always know that, right? If you're up one player, go in, and they do that pretty well every fight.
All right, and here we have it. About to see if Yikenwald can take the point back. But it's a really slow rotation. They look like they're not really sure of where they want to go yet. And it's going to be Danko out in the open, building up that charge. But K4 going to take out McCree early. And now he's just got all this freedom to rain down rockets. Super T going to take out Marvelous Mel, and that is just going to be Yikenwald sent packing.
Interesting. The Widow pick is bold, but I like it because basically he's just looking for the pure shutdown on K4's Pharah in the sky. Should allow Evil Light to focus on the ground war. But it's a ground war that he has to go up against Super T, right? You're in the McCree mirror matchup, so it's a tall
McCree
order.
trying to find that pick on K4, but K4 being very smart about his LOS. And that's going to be Evilite down. K4 cancels his ult immediately, but Scotch is going to get the res. And that's going to be a focus barrage on Evilite, but now Super T gets a kill with his own Deadeye. McCree's going to get Sugary Panic, but I still think it's going the way of face down, shields up.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate, Josh Danko there. He threw out the graph. He actually got the pharmacy in it, but his team is already dead. There's no follow-up. Would have been team winning, but the fight was really already lost for Yikenwald. This is last fight, 4% left.
Yo, McCree again. K4 takes out Evilite. That's already, the fight hasn't even started, and the DPS on the side of Yikenwald has been taken out. Scotch is gonna res Evilite, but I don't know how well that's gonna go. We're basically crossing streams with the Coalescence here, and now, if you're Yikenwald, you're looking for some miracle picks, and that's a good start. Sugary Panic gonna go down to Marvelous Melt. Super T gonna take out Evilite and McCree though. Both DPS on the side of Yikenwald out of the fight. Main tank gone, support gone, and that is just, and now, yep, there it is. Face down, shields up is just gonna wrap it up. Very competitive map.
Wow.
But in the end,
Play of the game.
looks like face down, shields up just wanted it a little bit more.
Yeah, and we got Mighty Wolf here with the play of the game. Charge, enemy right into the wall, and then just some free swing it into a grab. And why not shatter on top of it? See you later. Very nice. And yeah, face down, shield up, bouncing back after last week with a win of their own against Yikenwald here in week 3.
Back in the game after last week, which is you're breathing a sigh of relief if you're face down, shields up, because that's a pretty good start of a recovery from last.
Yeah, and for Yikenwald, I don't think you should be too discouraged after this week. I think they put up a pretty good fight.
Oh yeah, it was an amazing fight.
Yeah, and I think they just need to work a little bit more on their team play and knowing when to take the fights that they need to. Oh, hello.
I have returned.
Oh, welcome
Oh,
back.
well, where'd you go?
I had a bit of a drama bomb explosion in the family unit, unfortunately.
The
So
fam-
Oh no. Well, that's unfortunate to hear.
I'm sorry.
No worries. We got it covered. The match is over. Face down, shields up. Win it
Yeah.
2-1.
Face down, shields up, just barely.
What a surprise! I had no idea that Super T was gonna hard carry again.
Oh, whoa. It's a team game. K4
Daddy, play
got in
more
there.
hits
Everyone
down.
else, they were doing it.
No, I really like Yakin. I think they're a strong team, but I just don't think the players are on the same level. I think Virtual Riot is strong, but I think that contesting Super T and and Sugary Panic and K4 all at the same time is what elo is K4 like high plat?
He's Masters.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Diamond
I
Masters, yeah.
noticed, I sensed like this aura from K4. Like, you know how higher players, you can watch their positioning and you can watch their picks, and you just know that they're like not the same as the other players. And I'm like, how much value is this guy providing? Because like when you get, how can you have K4 and Super T on the same team then? You have like two, and then, but then Sugary Panic, what elo is Sugary Panic? Because he's also like, I was noticing plays from him that were monstrous. Like, how is face down shields up so OP
Well,
almost?
I mean that is a good point, but sometimes teams in the draft sort of play out like this. If we remember, K4 is actually the replacement for Freefy, who is also a Masters player in his own right. So
Yeah.
basically, it was 10.25 for Super T and then 5.25 for Freefy, and K4 was filling in that $5.25 slot.
Yeah,
And that's really what the team's brand is, right? You got superstar carry DPS, and you just have to sort of work around that and find the win through them.
really, really excellent. I think, like I said, I think Sugary Panic is really the unsung hero coming in with some really outstanding tank play. I was really impressed overall, but I think Wall just needs to. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to compete with that level of DPS carry. It's just a tough match. Evilite coming in hard with some really nice play, but I just don't think it'll be enough.
Yeah, I mean, we'll guess. I assume both of these teams will make the playoffs, but we'll see. Top 4 out of 6 will make it. We're done with week 3, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and weeks 4 and 5 left of the regular season. We'll see how it all pans out. But yeah, stay tuned. Next week, 7 p.m. Central. Bye bye.